with the Slark pick. I would probably prefer like maybe a PL or something instead. I know it sounds a little bit strange because PL's not been picked a whole lot, but Morphling is not really that good into him. Oh, they're gonna go for the Wraith King.
Okay.
Cool. So it's not the team with the Omni that picks it, ends up being TFT. Wraith King is a little bit interesting, but it does mean that the OD has an insane amount of frontline. So the Doom can go in, the Wraith can go in. You have the Enigma backup just in case if he ever gets to Blink Dagger or whatever. So you got a lot of beef between you and the heroes on Chaos, and you kind of want that when you're an OD because it enables you to be able to just hit. As long as you can get into the fight and just auto attack people with your orb, you're feeling pretty good. So in that sense, I like the pick a lot. And then Chaos is going to go for the Darkseer. So really old pairing, the Ember Spirit and the Darkseer Ion Shell plus Flame minutes of the game. Like Kezu has to have a good lane. He needs to get his levels up. And Tumba Man, he needs to be very, very active. And I think that this game can very easily get away from Chaos if they don't have a good early game.
All right, again, this isn't for all the marbles necessarily, but it's for the victory of the series, this being game number 3, and to move on to play Hippomaniacs. As we found out, the loser going to be matched up against Aiken Esports Club. I've been told it's pronounced there on the lower side, but all 4 will still remain alive, but of course want to take the easier route, going through the winner side. That's what we're here to determine. So once again, it's also, I've noticed the trend that Chaos has been Radiant all 3 games, TFT, of course, being the Dire. So that's been a theme.
I mean, comfortability is still a thing. I think that the difference between Radiant and Dire is like less than it's been in a long time. So some teams just really like the safe lane of Radiant still, which I kind of get. It's a little bit harder to pull a large camp to lane or whatever, but we'll have to see. Room contest, top and bottom, actually.
Yeah. Okay, the Wraithfire Blast there. Wraith King. Oh my god.
They got all 4.
Wow, every single rune was contested, and yeah, TFT gets all 4 of them. They played a lot more Diablo in the day. Apparently faster clickers there. That was
Kezu taking a ton of damage here as well.
Yeah, a lot of right click. Poison Touch will do that from Dazzle. Eventually out comes the Heavenly Grace though, and as you mentioned, it does bring the Dispel, so whenever that Poison Touch goes up, it could respond with the Heavenly Grace if it feels necessary. But they make Omni Knight the lane partner to Darkseer. That kind of goes back to rather. I think Omni Knight's going to still be more position 5, of course, in the hands of Misery, but Milan instead at the bottom lane to help zone out the Doom.
Yeah, this is a nice pressure lane though from Chaos, and that's why I was really leaning on the whole emphasis on early game, because I think Darkseer Omni is quite a good matchup against these 2 heroes. As long as they don't both get hit by like the AoE Poison Touch or whatever, it should be fine, because the Poison Touch cooldown, it does scale, but it's never going to be less than what Heavenly Grace is, and Misery knows better than to just randomly cast it on his Darkseer.
We'll sit on it. We do essentially have a jungle Enigma, though, on skin. He's got the early headdress. Going to work towards that helm of the Dominator, but going back to his roots of sorts, as dare I say, bring it up, back in the Han days, it was certainly his role that he played. That's a position 4 now in this case, so Enigma setting up to have a pretty good time in that jungle. We'll see if Chaos does much to disturb it. I suppose they really don't have a lineup that can. I mean, it's not like Omni Knight can just run in there and harass him. I mean, I guess he could try, but probably wouldn't be effective.
Yeah, it's not worth it. As a melee hero, if you're not like Bounty Hunter or Ricky, who doesn't, like neither one of those heroes really offer a lot to the lane. Misery is actually giving benefit to Kezu by being here. You don't really want to chase him around, so you're definitely right about that. And speaking of chase, Hanskin's just up here. He's like, you don't get this freebie. We're not giving your Darkseer a free early game.
Yeah. Oh, did everything just froze for me?
I'm still good over here.
That's really weird. I don't know what's going on. Oh, just got disconnected. All right, so I'm going to reconnect.
Don't worry, you're not missing anything, Breaky. I'll give you the radio. It's everyone's farming. Kezu was forced out of the top lane due to being bullied out by Hanskin and Era. And they are not really getting much of anything done here in terms of kills. So pretty quiet early game. Everyone just farming away. Lanes are pretty even. OD has a little bit of a lead over the Ember right now, as you would expect. A deny lead. But the Ember is going to be much more active during the early mid games. So
all right.
Matuma Man's more just concerned about the EXP, I think, at this point than he is the gold, because it's really easy for him to TP top and get kills. Very, very easy. Only one stun, and you have a spell for it.
Our back good to go. Cross the fingers, hopefully that's it. But for now, Omni Knight, again, the only one in the lane, thanks to Darkseer going all the way back and getting some regen. He's making his way back in, though, with that TP. And we'll join back up with them, but Dazzle continues his right clicks on Misery as now KZ shows back up, so Frost is not going to let this be free, though. In fact, the Wraithfire Blast, and Omni Knight melts that era with the heal bomb of the Shadow Wave, doing the damage to secure the kill. KZ, not much more he can do at that point.
Yeah, the Skeletons plus Shadow Wave, really, really strong combo. Not respecting how much damage it actually does. Kind of makes me wonder, you know, is it not just worth sacking, maybe, in the sense that the Omni should probably just leave and do something else? But then again, I don't really know what else. He's drawing the line. He's like, you need to be behind the tier 2. We can't... If the Wraith King and the Dazzler are together, then that heal bomb happens.
Yeah.
You know? So they need to get to a place where those heroes are kind of separated. But as funny as it is to say, this jungle Enigma is actually an issue because he's in the way, you know? Like, he's blocking the path, more or less. So they have to take this really awkward route between the towers to try to do their cutting. Going to be an observer drop, so it scouts the shrine. It's going to see Hanskin when he comes back. He's already level 4, by the way, so he is 2 levels higher than Kezu.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good right now. KZ is going to hit level 3 as he cuts the creep wave, sure enough, and Dazzle's running back in with that double damage rune. Still has a bit of time left on it, but I don't think he's going to make a kill by any means as Zibbe goes down at the bottom. Looks like he was doing some creep cutting of sorts, and Morphling heads on over to assist for that kill. Back to the top lane. Keizu's getting low. Heavenly Grace helping a bit, but that poison touch is still up. So didn't use it after. In fact, Omni Knight goes down. Keizu's trying to live. One more auto attack. Yes, Hanskin gets it. We got a 3-for-1 start in favor of TFT. 2,000 net worth lead. Overall, this is feeling really good for the Final Tribe now.
Yeah, they are having a pretty much the perfect early game that you could ask for. Their jungle Enigma is going completely unpunished. The top lane is unable to apply pressure, even though, like, on paper, they should theoretically be able to. And, like, the Doom, like, sure, he's suffering, but, you know, whatever. He has Devour. He's going to make his way back into the game. And I was focusing a lot. I was like, Chaos need their lanes to not be awful. And I got to tell you, Breaky, they're looking pretty awful.
Yeah, they are. That's they weren't listening to your advice. I don't know about that.
Lane better.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is it's rough because even, you know, Matumba Man at this point is starting to suffer a lot more. Like, he's more than a full level behind Chessie. Net worth wise, he's like 1,000 behind. They, like, at this point, you really want your Darkseer to be like level 5.
Milan could be in trouble. You see Zibbe using that chain lightning that he's taken over from the Harpy and keeps zapping down Milan and eventually gets the kill. Of course, a great rotation from Enigma, now with the Helm of the Dominator, has the Hellbear Smasher. Yeah, this is a laning phase. The key was Ember Spirit. You stressed that, and the fact that he's 16-1 against an OD that's 33-23. Yikes. They need him to recover somehow. He's going to go to the jungle for now, but that's going to be a long journey.
Yeah, the only person having a game right now in Chaos is Fated, and, you know, they set it up that way. So it was, you know, this is all kind of according to plan for Chaos, but he's playing into Doom and OD. And he's going to have to go, like, first item Lincolns, which means he's going to have a very slow kind of gradual build-up to being strong. And that kind of makes me worry for Chaos longevity. They're going to find Era here.
Top lane. Well, they kind of did, but with Wraith King coming over, they get a little scared and don't want to chase. I was watching the bottom lane, too. There's some pressure possibly coming in, but not going to happen yet. But, yeah, Enigma's nearby. He's almost level 6 as well, so that black hole presence just about online as Misery is kind of just roaming around. He's going to be collapsed on, though. Hanskin is going to get a Heavenly Grace out of it, puts down Midnight Pulse. Doom's coming in trying to assist Misery. One more attack needed, he gets it. Down goes the Omni Knight, so a solo kill essentially for Hanskin as now he's level 6 as well. Yeah, this Enigma is going off right now for TFT. I mean, it's 4th in net worth, but still, this is technically a position 4 that's farming better than the mid lane right now. Yeah,
he's huge. Like, having the helmet was like 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Just having that Ursa creep to walk at heroes, like, you don't think about it a lot of the time because really early Helm of the Dominators just aren't super common in games that don't have this hero. But that creep just kills you. That thing is 425 movement speed, and you got no boots on Omni Knight. You're 100 movement speed plus lower than that thing at this point in the game.
Yeah, it feels bad. He's kind of poking in right there. He doesn't want to leech experience from Morphling either. It goes back to the idea that Chaos really is all in on VT Faded, and he's going to go for Lincolns early on. Goes back to, you're up against a Doom especially. Having that Lincolns will be nice, especially with the protection of an Omni Knight, but is going to certainly need much more farm for that. Perhaps the Ethereal Blade, the whole shotgun build we typically see as Chessie rotates top, gets lifted up and pushed away, but that will secure the easy tower kill for Wraith King. Back down here, by the way, Matoma Man's getting low, gets out of the Midnight Pulse, and heal on Omni Knight on himself, going for the turn kill on Hanskin. It's not going to be enough, though. Case is here with the Iron Shell. Yeah, this could be disastrous, though. Enigma gets collapsed on it and will eventually fall. The Helper Smasher cannot take out Keizu. So you know what? Chaos does get the better of that exchange, especially with Morphling coming to assist.
Yeah, they needed that kill so badly as well. Like, especially, like, this whole series, I feel like Keizu's kind of had a hard time. Like, the Axe game that he played previously, it was a really hard Axe game, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think anyone would have fared much better. But yeah, it seemed to not be, like, his best series so far. I really hope that off Iron Shell and Matumba Man being level 7 now, that they can make some plays and try to recover, because it's really unfortunate when a game goes to 3 and then you just get stomped in the 3rd game. You know, that's always like the feels bad way to end a series.
Especially when you won the first game.
Yeah.
So it's
and it was convincing. Like, you outdrafted them, you played super well, and in the second game you maybe got outdrafted a bit, and I don't think they played particularly bad or anything. Maybe they should have lamed it. But this time around it looks super rough.
Oh, you see some reaction right there. The Final Tribe, they got the top tier 1. They go bottom lane, Wraith King specifically, spawns the skeletons, and VTV is like, I got to get out of here. He just TP's top, and he starts pushing out that lane now. He's doing everything he can to avoid, but of course that's where TFT's playing it very right, in that they're just pushing in lanes, knowing that Chaos does not want to fight any bit right now, especially with Ember Spirit trying to recover, and they're going to go mid lane. Why would they stop? As Bounty Runes are spawning at 10-minute mark. I suppose that might be a reason. Milan, he's getting caught up to. Does have the Astral Imprisonment. Just out of range, though, but it doesn't matter. Equilibrium comes out, and they eventually run him down. And back to the mid tower, it's falling as well. So TFT, it's almost like clockwork right now for them. They're moving pretty fluid.
Yeah, the Enigma having such a good game is kind of... It's the big selling point right now of TFT's draft, I feel, because a lot of the time you're not going to get this much influence out of a position 4 that is just AFK farming, more or less. But it just works so well with their lineup because Chaos has so few options on who starts the fight. Like, Ember is the only hero that can really start an engagement on his own terms. The only other way that Chaos get a fight is if TFT are walking to an objective, and if they're walking to an objective and that Enigma's there, Chaos just aren't going to fight him. It's like you mentioned, you can't walk into the black hole and feel really confident about it, even with the Rubik at this point, because you also kind of just, you lack damage.
Yeah, man, that's a 6,000 net worth lead in 11 minutes. That's a very decisive lead for the Final Tribe. Certainly still plenty of game left, but it's going to be an uphill trek for Chaos Esports Club. And you keep going back to the Morphling. His farm is consistently doing pretty solid. Lincoln's on its way. Perseverance finished. However, if he gets caught here, talk about really delaying things. Astral Imprisonment just out of range, it looks like, and Morphling will be fine for now. He's still hanging around somewhat, but he is going to slip out. His teammates are making their way over. They're smoked up, wrapping around. See if they can find an engagement, but it's not going to be easy. Ember Spirit gets the Iron Shell. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to find it, though. TFT is just too far back. I don't know if they spotted this or they're suspicious, at least.
Yeah. I don't think they spotted it. I think they were, like, behind the shrine, sort of towards their own base when they hit it, so probably fine. But they're still together, which is enough for Chaos to be like, okay, we can't. We don't want to walk into a grouping of heroes at this point in the game. God, man, I really don't know what their lineup is supposed to do to come back in this game. That's the real issue. Like, a lot of the time, if you're behind the lanes, it's because you have a plan, and that plan is going to have a pretty good chance of success. Like a good core matchup or an item timing that's going to be like, this is where we play Dota. And I'm looking at Chaos, and I'm going, when do you guys get to play Dota? I don't know when it is, Breaky. I'm having a hard time figuring it out.
This is another reason why I'm not a big fan of a position 5 Omni Knight, by the way. Is they found Hanskin.
Oh,
He's got
no.
Black Hole if they spread up close enough, but they did a good job of keeping the distance. But Misery could still be in trouble. No, he's going to be fine. Malphus wearing off. Or I guess it was Heavenly Grace to dispel, but still. They were the ones that had the advantage right there, it felt like, in Chaos, and couldn't capitalize on it. But
yeah.
this Omni is pretty far behind, and a hero that certainly benefits from those items to be able to be effective in these fights is not going to be getting money, if any. In fact, he's going to die. He walks right into a trap.
Jesus.
Similar to last game on the Magnus.
This is one of those games, and I'm sure everyone who's played Dota can relate to this, where you feel like walking up a hill is the same thing as just dying. When you don't have vision anywhere, right, and you have no map control, and you go, oh, I'm going to walk up to this high ground. Oh, wait, I just die every time I do that. That's what this game feels like if you're Chaos. So, mid lane, I think I want to try to go on Zibit here.
Hey, look at Doom. He actually takes a creep and the Devour does Morphling, that is, morphing into the Doom, but still. Either way, it's not going to be initiation. We'll fall back and continue to farm in his own jungle. You do see Doom with the Purge creep active. Of course, a very good ability, not only for the Ion Shell, in fact, the Flame Guard as well. Extra good. And hell, Guardian Angel when that eventually becomes a threat.
Well, it removes Surge as well, and I think you mentioned Ion Shell, but yeah, it removes like everything.
Yeah, there's a lot here. Purge is actually very good for.
The only thing it doesn't get rid of is the Heavenly Grace.
Correct, yeah. Free Roshan.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know how Chaos fight them. That's the real concern. That's when a game feels very difficult, right? Like, so when they picked Morphling and I was talking about picking up a mobile core, it's because you have an Omni already, and you have this like very stationary kind of support duo that has a really hard time getting around the map. So they are gonna wall this Doom. Not really gonna do much.
Ember Spear got Doom though, and now he's in trouble. VT faded nearby as well. The Sanity's Eclipse used right there very early in the fight, but either way, it's an Ember Spirit going down. VT faded, was able to TP to the top lane and continue his farm, but now Keizu, he's trying to get out of here as well. Wraithfire Blast? No, not in time. Manages to avoid. So they get the Ember Spirit though. You see right there, perfect example, just something he's going to have to deal with throughout.
Yeah. I think he got pathing there, right, by the way, on Frost. So you know how when you click in a fog and there's a hero blocking your path and you can't see him? It just turns you around. I think that's what happened there to him. Like he didn't click close enough to where he was walking like in front of him to accurately get the stun off. Otherwise, I think that would have just been another kill. But yeah, going back to the point earlier, it's just like playing a lineup with no mobility and then also not having good catch and then also having a not good core matchup. I feel like this is just, it screams outdraft to me, honestly. So, I mean, after having seen it played out, it feels obviously more so an outdraft because he's going to get spotted here.
And look at that.
Purge.
Yeah, right as he was waiting for the Surge, and sure enough, the Purge comes out. Vacuum is not going to be enough. And that's an easy kill on the Starkseer. And you've had a case now, 4 of the top 5 net worth in the game all belong on the side of TFT as Omni Knight manages to get away from Wraith King in the mid lane. But Wraith King, by the way, has a Maelstrom coming out. So he has the armlet with the Midas, and Maelstrom's going to be happening. We're only 16 and a half minutes in. This is one of those games where you have to constantly remind yourself, look at the time up there. Still very early.
He is super rich, and Milan is super dead.
Certainly is. One way to describe it. Down by the Enigma as OD was also dealing with him, and VT Fate is in trouble too mid lane. Do they have enough? Oh, they do! Oh. He morphed into the Doom. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, he probably would be dead no matter what, but he doesn't have a buyback.
Yeah, I don't know, Breaky. I think this game might just be over before it started for Chaos.
Very possible. Zibby's in the front. He is getting pretty low. You have to walk around the wall and actually going to be put under. The Astral Imprisonment. Ross doesn't care. He just runs right through it. They get the tier 3 tower, and they're not going to stick around for the racks. It's only 17 minutes in. You don't need to feel pressured to get that killed by any means. And,
yeah, it's the safe play. I mean, you can wait for Hanskin to get his Greaves. He's really close. He only needs a couple 100 gold to be able to send it out. But yeah, you don't really need to give Chaos a freebie. You can just take the shrines. You know that there's no way Chaos are going to like sneak a Roche. The best thing they can do is push a lane to a tier 1, and then one of your heroes TPs, and they have to back. Like, that's how weak they are right now. That, like, I think one TP will legitimately scare them away.
TFT gonna snipe the range creep in the mid lane, trying to do what he can to prevent the Dire team from pushing into the base. I believe Rubik just got his Blink Dagger, so that's good news for Chaos, at least somewhat. Milan has the presence now to be a threat of jumping in and getting set up for a spell still, perhaps on a black hole if it's eventually used, but you know, the way Hanskin's playing, it's not even been necessary.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he even needs to cast it to win. Oh god, that feels so bad to say, but it might be true.
Yeah, you could argue it might be best just not to cast it, because the last thing you want to do is give that black hole to
Exactly.
Rubik.
That's you said exactly what was on my mind.
Yeah.
I don't I don't really rule anything out in Dota anymore. They're gonna Doom Matumba here.
So they charging in. Jesse, the imprisonment. Catching, I believe that's, who is that? That's Darkseer with it. Purge comes out, and Darkseer no chance to get away, so I suppose he'll save his Ember Spirit, but another free kill. Lincoln's finished on Morphling. He is working towards the Ethereal Blade, but he needs to get back now. Because once again, Dire team pushing. Roshan is still 3:30 remaining. That's right, they still have the Aegis actually on OD. So 30 more seconds as VT Faded gets Cosmos back in Morphling form. And there's the buyback from Darkseer, so they want to fight this Matama man. He's got a double damage here. Insanity's Eclipse comes down to the vacuum wall. Combo, pretty good one. There's a lot of illusion spawn as a result. OD's getting somewhat low. Eric takes, well, he's going to be fine actually. The shallow grave. So they take out the racks. Frost still man-moding.
Got black hole.
He's getting low. Did he get black hole? He did, didn't he? Okay.
Yeah. They didn't lose melee just yet. Aegis is gone.
So that's bringing up earlier. Now with the black hole and a Blink Dagger on Rubik, maybe a chance for a play that they're running as if they want to catch them. They're down 2 heroes. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think they're just playing super forward because they have black hole.
Oh. BT Faded caught. Heavenly Grace. He doesn't have enough mana currently for the waveform. Finally gets it. They're going to charge though. Heavenly Grace going to wear off soon. Poison Touch applied. Zibe's in. Lincoln's pop once again, but he'll be fine. Omni Knight makes it back to base as well. This is very similar to last game, it's feeling like, where now Chaos is just getting choked in their base.
Yeah, this is definitely a draft issue, though. Like, if you look at 4 heroes on their team, basically just don't move around, you know? Like, you have no moving parts on your team. It's basically a bunch of pretty tanky heroes who really, really, really need to win their lanes in order to snowball so that you can force, like, 5-man on your own terms and just try to take objectives that way. That's why I was stressing in the draft, like, Chaos needed to win their lanes. And even with a hero just sitting in the jungle on TFT, they crushed the lanes. And as soon as that happened, I was just saying to myself, I don't like this type of lineup. Just it doesn't have a comeback mechanism. The comeback is TFT messing up like super hard, and they've been very disciplined about how they've taken the high ground pushes. So I feel like we could be seeing a very similar game 3 as we did to game number 2.
Of course, don't expect any give up by any means just yet for Chaos.
Oh, no way. No way. They will not give up. Their throne could be dying, and they probably wouldn't give up.
Yeah. This is a TI9 qualifier, so you pretty much play to the end always. But it is a troublesome spot to be in. Already down 19,000 net worth at 21 minutes. But you know what? Some positive. Morphling is farming pretty well still with the best of them. Although Wraith King, just the acceleration has been real. He's got a full Mjolnir coming out, by the way, on him now, so that's that much more deadly. He's level 15. He gets the skeleton's attack damage, so those little minions, that much more damage they're going to be dealing.
Yeah, what is it, like 72 damage a piece, I think, with the talent?
I'm not sure.
It's crazy. Like, they do so much, and there's 8 of them until you get level 20, and then there's 16 if you take that talent. But I think in this game, he might actually be able to take it, because there's no real mana burn.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
You have to worry about.
No diffusal threat, really. No mana burn in general, so I would not be surprised if he gets that.
Yeah. If you think about it, with the 2x skeletons and the damage talent, you're doing, like, it's 1,000+ raw damage, like, every single time all the skeletons hit per, like, round of hits, if you want to think about it that way. Yeah. So it's insane how much they do.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Chaos being very slippery as far as not getting caught. No more black hole on Rubik, by the way. So don't have that threat anymore. Guardian Greaves picked up by Enigma, and he's working on his own Blink Dagger. He's almost there. 1,800 gold saved up for him. But certainly Guardian Greaves, good start. And OD, haven't mentioned about his items too much, but yeah, the Kaya, the Blink, and 3,700 gold saved up, so he's going to have a BKB soon. So TFT can hit some timings as far as some new items, and perhaps even another Roshan, because Roshan's up in 35 seconds. And you'd figure, I mean, Chaos, as grim as it may sound, should they try to defend the Roshan?
I mean, it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how I feel this entire game has been for Chaos. So I don't think that like fighting at Roche is particularly good or bad, because I honestly just don't think it makes a difference.
Yep.
Like I'm really like I'm trying to think of ways that they could do something, and really there's two ways. One, the Morph finishes E-Blade, and they manage to get like a quick pick on a hero and turn that into a team fight, which he's still quite a bit away from. Like he needs 2,200 gold or something in order to finish it, and then he needs additional gold on top of that to have buyback as well. And then the other way is TFT super hard commit for a fight, and then they lose to buybacks, and then the game stretches out. That's like the other way that they would be able to win. But I don't see that second one really happening, because TFT has been very disciplined about their pushes. We saw last game, they waited for so long. Like they probably could have committed probably like 10-15 minutes earlier, but they played it safe. So if they play with that same kind of discipline, I don't know if Chaos are going to get that opening. Like I don't want to like try to make it sound super demoralizing or anything. Yeah. I can't lie. Like I can't be like, oh yeah, they're totally looking great. 20k advantage in 20 minutes, they got this.
Yeah, no, comeback. I mean, they're the king of comebacks. They got this easy. Yeah, it's sometimes you just got to be realistic, Draskell. I'm with you there. It's a very, very grim outlook for Chaos, but we'll see as they keep fighting, pushing out bottom. They're protecting the Morphling. Yes, OD's already here. In fact, blinking forward. Can he catch him? No, that would have been big, of course, but he has a link in, so likelihood of that happening pretty low. Manages to TP to the top and continues his farm, but that's now an Aegis for OD, and they have the cheese as well. Looks like it is going to be in the hands of Wraith King, who has another 3,100 gold. I feel like he just got the Mjolnir. The Blink, and 3,300 gold saved up, so I don't even know what he's thinking for next, but whatever it is, it just doesn't matter, it seems like. So it's going to be a plus, positive.
Yeah, he's feeling good. His item options are wide open. It looks like BKB is going to be his choice. I like it. It is the safest item, I think, to buy this game. I wouldn't even hate something like Scotty or just AC, just anything to give you some tankiness. Again, we talked about the lack of mana burn on the side of Chaos, so in those type of situations, you know, your Wraith King's always going to be able to get his ult mid. You're going to find it along.
Yeah, Enigma, he has got a black hole. He's thinking about using it. Has a Guardian Greaves, going to need to use it at the last second. Midnight Pulse stolen by Rubik, so not the black hole, but VTP'd. He's now doomed up. He needs support. Where's Omni Knight? Going to be drums forward to chase him down. There's Omni Knight, Guardian Angel coming out. But will it be enough to save him in the end? Still plenty of magic damage coming through. GA's wearing off in a second as well. The vacuum wall pulling. It's not enough, though. Eclipse falls, and down goes Morphling. Ember Spirit's also caught. He couldn't remnant far away enough. He does have a buyback, but Morphling's staying dead, by the way, and so is Darkseer. This could be the beginning of the end. A triple kill for Chessie, and there's no reason for TFT to stop now.
Yeah, they just call it.
GG.
I don't blame him at all. It's a 27k lead in 26 minutes. I don't know about you, Breaky, but I think this might be the most one-sided game that I've seen in, like, the entire qualifier. Has there been a bigger stomp than this?
I mean, there's been some stomps in the group stages. I'm not going to say this was the biggest one.